Okay, here's my promised video of my upgrades I have done to the Creality cr-5 Pro. And I mostly print with PLA and PETG. And that's why you see I made these spacers for the top. It's quite convenient to still be able to have it on, but still get some flow. Because PLA and PETG really don't like a too hot chamber while printing. But the biggest upgrades I have done is more or less in the rear, as you can see here. It's more or less, I moved the extruder motor to the outside. And this tiny piece, you can, it's more or less just to keep the motor like fixated a little bit. And as you can see, there's also another spacer here. This is just to align the gears. This spacer have the same thickness as the metal casing. And the benefits of moving out the motor from the enclosure is it gets better cooling. And as you will see when I remove the top, you can shorten the Bowden tube quite a lot. But if you do this modification yourself, I recommend that you only shorten the Bowden tube in the beginning with this length you have here. So you don't shorten the Bowden tube too much when you start experimenting, because you still need some movement on the Bowden tube. I tried to make it as short as possible to be able to also keep the enclosure on completely or the top. Another thing I also made is this. And as you can see, this removes the really heavy original top part of the hot end. That's all metal and quite heavy. You save about 55-56 grams of weight by putting this on. And as you can see, it's made to be printed without support. And the reason you need to have something, because this is stabilizing the cable in an upwards position. I was first thinking about removing and don't have anything at all, but it was not really a good idea. So, and as you can see, I just put the Bill Touch bracket straight onto here. And also I put in a brand new print cooler, as I can show you here. And for me at least, the new design gives a lot better cooling and still keeping the compact size. It's not optimal or perfect, but it's better than the original. And I can show you the original is actually 3D printed. And as you can see, it deformed quite quickly as well. The original is really not that good. Here you can see it's even have a lot of stringing inside from the factory. Oh, and to not forget it, also this one is brand new and replaces this chunk of plastic I thought was extremely terrible. And if you wonder, the cable for the extruder motor is really simple. You just put it out here in the hole here, in the chassis that you can see I kept here on the back side. So you don't need any modification with cable management to move the extruder motor to the outside. Another modification I also made is I replaced the electronics cooling fan. It was this tiny noisy thing inside, and I put a more ordinary 40 millimeters fan that cools a bigger part of the electronics instead. And this bracket for this 40 millimeter fan is also on Cults 3D, where I put all my designs. And yeah, this is oh, and to not forget it, I also, as you can see, the printed parts here, I can see if I can remove if they get loose. Oops, I'm shooting them away. But these very simple plastic pieces are actually these really nice. I just clip them on to the cable management, and then it also holds the filament tube, and the filament tube actually slides inside. This is more or less because I use slightly shorter tubing. It's good if it can move slightly inside. And this is actually, it's a super tiny print, but it actually do so much. And it's actually working really great. And I really hated all of these zip ties all over. As you can see here also, the zip ties actually are for a while, they damage the protection of the cables also. So if you want some more videos, give this one a like, and I will try to put up some more. And I might even show you my little homemade dry box. And this one is super simple, and you more or less, this is for 2 and 3 kilo spools. And this one I simply printed in 2 parts, super simple in PLA, and it actually turns really simple. And this I just simply glued to the center inside, and this disc moves and slides with the roll on top of it. And it works extremely well, especially after I moved this part from the center here. So goodbye for now. Now I need to take care of my extremely annoying cold. So see you soon.